Hello, welcome to our webinar, How to Easily Prepare the HUD within Easysoft Online. After you log in, you'll be able to click on New Closing and choose HUD. I've already gone ahead and filled in some general information to save some time. You'll see as soon as the page loads, you'll have your 3 pages of the HUD along with the ledger. You'll be able to choose your status in Section A. We offer preliminary, draft, for review, final, and amended. When you print out your copy of the HUD, if you choose any other status than final, you will have a watermark print on that copy. If you need a clean copy, you'll want to mark final to print without any watermarks. Section B, you can choose your type of loan. We give you a pick list here. You'll be able to enter in your file number, your loan number, and the mortgage insurance case number. Sections D, E, and F are for your contacts. So we have our borrower. To edit any of these, you'll want to click on the edit icon. You'll click on the plus sign, and the box will open up to enter in your contact and that information. You can add additional borrowers and sellers if you have more than one. Section G is your property location. You'll be able to click on the copy link, and you can copy the address in from the seller or borrower to save a little bit of time rather than typing in that address again. Your settlement agent information will pull in from your profile settings, so make sure that you fill that in prior to beginning any of your closings. The profile is available up here and clicking on settings. The settlement address will also fill in. Make sure to enter in your settlement date, and your funding date will autofill according to the settlement date. If it's a closing that's later in the day, you can edit your funding date to the next day. Our next section is our summary of borrower's transaction. So you'll see that we have our contract sales price in line 101. I'm going to put my sale price in, and you'll see that this auto-filled over to the seller's column, and that this is a grayed out section. So anytime you see a grayed out section, that's pulling from another field or multiple fields. You can enter in any personal property included with the sale, and that'll also autofill from borrower to seller. You'll see that line 103 states that the settlement charges to borrower are pulling from line 1400, so this will autofill once we fill in the sections below and on the next page. We have our adjustments for items paid by seller in advance. You can use our tax proration tool, or you can fill in this information manually. If you choose to use the tax proration tool, you'll be able to choose your tax period at the top, entering in who the amount is payable to. It'll enter in your start date of tax for that year, and then the closing date according to your settlement date. If I were to change my tax period, you'll see my number of days for tax will update. So I'm going to leave this at quarterly. I have it entered that I'm going to pay $1,500 for the quarterly taxes, and that the seller already paid that amount. You'll see below the math is done for us, so it tells us the seller's responsible for number of days is 57, and then they overpaid by $560. You can choose to check this box, copy summary to lines 216 to 219. This will spell out the information in this box. Once you've entered in your information for your city taxes, you can click apply, you'll get a pop-up saying that the tax proration values have been entered, and then you can continue on. So we're going to do our county. Our closing date is the 26th. It's an annual payment of $1,000, and the seller has paid nothing, but they are responsible for 57 days since their closing is a couple months into the new year. At the bottom, you'll see that it's underpaid. So once I hit apply, it's going to fill into the proper section on page 1. I'm going to close that out, and you'll see that my city tax is filled in. So here's the $560 for the items that were paid in advance by the seller. So this money is due to the seller and will be added to what the borrower owes. If they had overpaid, if the seller had overpaid for the county taxes or assessments, that information would be here as well. You'll see that the gross amount due from borrower at line 120 is $101,060.44 so far. Our section 200 is going to be amounts paid by or on behalf of a borrower. So we have our deposit or earnest money. If you need to enter in any of this information, you can click our tool right here, and then you'll be able to enter in that amount accordingly. So on line 1, the retained by broker on line 701, I'm just going to enter in $100, and I'll show you how that works out later according to the commission that they should be getting. I'm also going to put in a deposit amount that's paid directly to the seller of $1,000. So you'll see at the bottom our total is $1,300, and this will show on line 201. And you'll see over on line 501 is our excess deposit. So this was the amount of $1,000 that was paid directly to the seller. That'll autofill. You can enter in any principal amount of new loans or any existing loans taken subject to. And the seller side, they can enter in any payoffs for their mortgages. So we do have the option for a payoff of first or second mortgage. So you'll be able to enter in that information specifically for the seller, and that will not copy over to the borrower side. You'll see that we have these more buttons in certain sections. So if you have additional amounts that you need to add in, you can click on more, and you can add in the description and the amount due to or from the borrower. You'll see that here's our adjustments for items unpaid by the seller. So remember our county taxes, I had entered in that the seller didn't pay at all. So this amount is actually going to be deducted from what the borrower owes the seller. So there's our $155.74. And we also kept that copy summary lines box checked. So here's the information regarding the city taxes. At the bottom, we'll get our total. So currently in line 303, our cash from the borrower is $99,604.70. And our cash to the seller is $100,904.70. The difference of that $1,000 there is that excess deposit that we had already entered in within the deposit and the earnest money. So once we go over to page 2, you'll see our settlement charges, and the first section is our commission. So the sale price of the property is $100,000. So it's going to be, I'm just going to enter in a 5%, which would equal $5,000. And I'm going to enter in that we're splitting this 70% to the broker 1 and then it'll do the math and it'll split it out to 30% for broker 2. So you'll see our total now shows in line 703. Our commission paid at settlement is $5,000 and it's split between both brokers. Section 800 is our items payable in connection with the loan. You'll be able to enter in the origination charges and any credit or charge points for the specific interest rate chosen. So you'll see as I entered those two values in, lines 801 and 802 are going to populate in line 803. And that amount is getting paid to the lender, which I have noted as TD Bank. You'll be able to put in your appraisal fee, any credit report fees. We have our tax service too and our flood certification. And you can add in any additional charges that need to be entered in for that borrower. Again, we offer the More button, so don't worry, you won't run out of lines if you have additional charges. Section 900 is your items required by lender to be paid in advance. So we have our daily interest charges, and it's going to be the 26th to the 1st. And let's just say it's going to be $15 per day. You'll see that this is going to calculate out into the borrower column, $60. The next two lines is your mortgage interest premium and your homeowner's insurance. So you can note out the number of months or years here. Homeowner's insurance is 6 years. You can enter in who it's being paid to, and then the amount you'll have to enter in manually. Section 1000 is your reserves deposited with the lender. So this is anything collected by the lender. You can enter in your homeowner's insurance. So I'll show you how this works. So let's say we're doing 6 months at $100. You'll see that it's $600. And what's going to happen is lines 1002, 1003, and 1004. And if you have any additional charges, 5 and 6, will all get added into this line 1001. So this is the initial deposit for your escrow account. So let's say I do another 6 months here at $50. You'll see that that equaled $300, and then it added right in as $900 in the first line. We do have an aggregate adjustment line. So this would be entered as a negative number, and this would be provided by your lender. So I put negative $100 and it deducted from line 1001. Your title charges are in the next section, so that's section 1100. You'll be able to enter in the title services and the lender's title insurance, the settlement or closing fees, and in line 1104 is the lender's title insurance. All three of those lines will get added right into line 1101. So I'm just going to put $100 in each so you can see that they will add up to that $300. Line 1103 is separate, so that'll be your owner's title insurance. We'll just add $50 in there. And then you'll be able to enter in the lender's title policy limit, owner's title policy limit, agent's portion of the total insurance premium, and the underwriter's portion of the total insurance premium. These are just for informational purposes. So you'll see, like, as I enter in my numbers, this is not getting added into any other lines. The remaining lines and the more will allow you to keep included in line 1101 checked, or if it's a separate payment and it's going to get a different check is going to be cut, you can uncheck this if we're entering it in for a different lender. So I'm going to put $100 here, and I had already unchecked included in line 1101. So it's its own amount here. But let's say I check 1110, and I'm going to put in $200 here. A line 1101 is going to increase to that $500 now. Section 1200 is our government recording and transfer charges. You'll be able to choose your jurisdiction. I'm going to choose New Jersey, and we'll do a residential standard here. So once I choose my jurisdiction, my recording charges and transfer taxes box will open up. You'll have the ability to enter in your government recording charges in the first section here. So you can enter in your number of pages if you're charging per page. You can also enter in a fixed amount. So let's say for 20 pages, I'm charging them $5. You'll see that my $100 has populated over to the right. Once I've entered in any other amounts or charges, I'll scroll to the bottom, I'll hit save, and then you want to hit OK because it is going to update that section 1200. You'll see my deed amount populated at $100 and our state tax and stamps populated at $400. And that's according to the jurisdiction I chose. Section 1300, you can enter in any additional settlement charges. So any services the borrower can shop for and any other charges that you'll need for that closing. At the bottom, you'll see our totals, and this is line 1400. I had noted that before on page 1. So our total for the borrower side is $2,415, and the seller is $5,400. I'll show you if we go back to page 1, that section 1400, that amount has now populated here. We do offer the good faith estimate on page 3. We have the three sections available: charges that cannot increase, your charges that in total cannot increase more than 10%, and the charges that can change. At the bottom of this page are your loan terms. You'll want to make sure that you fill these in. These are your lender provided terms, and these are not going to pull from any other page in our system. I did want to pop over into the ledger real quick, and I want to show you that retained amount by the broker for those commissions. So you'll see that broker 1 on page 2 was noted as getting $3,500 commission from this sale, but our ledger is going to show that $3,400 because they were retaining that $100 that we entered in the deposit or earnest money box. And broker 2 is noted at $1,300, and they're listed on page 2 at $1,500 because they retained $200. Once you've completed your closing, you'll be able to click print at the top. We do offer the option to print to PDF or Microsoft Word. If you need to edit any verbiage, you can choose Microsoft Word to edit anything on the form. You can print to legal or letter. We offer you the standard, the buyer only, and the seller only. Also a without total. And we've added in the 2-page HUD. So I'm going to print that out now so you can take a look at it. So here's my 2-page HUD, and you'll see that it does say preliminary on it. I left the status set at preliminary so I could show you that watermark. Again, if you need a clean copy, just set your status to final and no watermark will print. You'll see all the information that we've entered in. is noted on our 2-page HUD. If you need to contact Easysoft, you can contact us at 800-905-7638. You can reach any department here. If you need support, just click on the support link at the bottom of any page. This will bring you to our community site. You'll be able to review our articles. You'll be able to send us any feedback you have regarding the software. And you can open a support case 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and reach us online on our live chat Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you.